So guys, thank you for coming. Most of you know why we're here. We are here because we are fighting the RSE, Relationship and Sexuality Education, which has been mandated by the Welsh Government from age 3 to 16 with no parental option. As you can see, I'm on my own today. I haven't got no Lucia. She's like my wingman. I don't usually do this pencil. And then we'll be hearing from Joan from North Wales, and also Richard will have a word as well. And anybody else, if anybody else wants to speak. So today, I want to address this council. This is my local council, and I should have been here a long time ago. But I've been busy. Been busy getting this court case going, getting the campaign going around the country. But now I'm here. This is going to be the first of many, because the people in here need to be addressed. I'm here today because there's a full council meeting inside. You've seen lots of councillors go in, so I hope the meeting started at 2. I hope I am interrupting the meeting right now. So let's talk about the council here, shall we? We've got the Director of Education, Andrew Thomas. He's new to his post. I think he's been there just over a year, barely 2 years if that. So I contacted Andrew on behalf of about 50, 60 people from the Port Talbot area. Andrew has refused to look at the evidence we have provided proving the Welsh Government has mandated a global sex education. He is the Director of Education. He is not just in charge of education and our children, he's also in charge of the staff. So not only has he failed to safeguard our children, he's failed to safeguard the staff. Now, any teachers out there listening to this now, you think you're safe? This man has let you down miserably. We have created case law through a judicial review. That case law tells us that any teacher who oversteps the mark will be accountable. We can hold that teacher, that individual person, accountable for any damage or anything that goes against our beliefs, our religious and philosophical convictions. So, Andrew has failed to protect you from this. He's failed to inform you about this. So guys, you chose to stand with the government. This council have chose to stand with the government. But who's going to stand with you now? We tried to get you on side, but you are a cut above us. Your teachers, we are nobodies. Well, that's wrong, because we are the parents. And nobody, not even the FBI, can research at the rate of a concerned parent. So if I was you, I would catch up really very quick. Now I want to talk about the leader of the council, Stephen Carl Hunt. He has also been offered meetings to discuss this education. He has refused to meet with me. He has refused to allow posts onto social media. He is admin of a group called Neath Constituency Voice for Everyone. He is the only admin. He is controlling the information that goes out to the public. He's refusing to allow us to share this information with you. And he is the leader of the council. But like I said, we've created case law. And this case law is going to hold people account. This case law has paved the way for every single low-income family in this country to be awarded legal aid if their children suffer. What's the problem? This is sex education. It's going to keep our children safe from harm. Is it really? Is it really? It's a global sex education built off the back of theories, not science. Theories we address are sexual from birth. Where on earth do you think they got that from? This saying, we are sexual from birth. I'll tell you exactly where they got that from. They got it from the abuse of children. This is documented in the sexual behaviour of the human male, chapter 5. That is where they are saying we are sexual from birth. It's concerning. The frameworks they accepted, they want children to engage with themselves intimately from birth, because, as they say, we are sexual beings from birth. Another mad theory that they've littered our sex education documents with is queerism. They want to queer our children. Now, a lot of people out there think queer just means gay. It's just part of the LGBTQ. Well, do you know what? Queer does not mean gay. Queer does not mean you're unique. That Q stands for anything goes. And while you're promoting that Q, you are promoting the harm and abuse of children. The people writing these documents do not believe childhood innocence is a thing. They believe that childhood innocence is a myth. And we got quotes like, nobody seems to realise that adult and child equals okay. Now, if they didn't believe that, why are they quoting it in their work? Adult plus child equals okay. What do you think they're on about there? What do you think they are getting at there? Sounds strange, doesn't it? You know, the teachers, the government, they're not going to do stuff like this. They're never going to put our children at harm or risk. Have a look at their work. Have a look at their work. Because if I was referencing paedophiles in my work, I'd expect you lot to run me out of town quicker than I moved in. This is what we are dealing with. Let's look at the lesson resources, shall we? I've told you about they want children to mess around with themselves. And people say to me, oh no, how can they do that? They're not going to teach that. Well, why don't you just go on Google and type in self-stimulation, 241 schools, England. Type those into Google and you have a look at how they are teaching your children to touch themselves from the age of 4. Now we hear things like, but children do it anyway. Children touch themselves anyway. Yeah, they do. Some do, some don't. Some are doing it because of a medical condition, and some are doing it because that is a non-verbal disclosure. They are acting out things that has happened to them. So if we are programming all children not to behave this way in public, we have programmed them away from a non-verbal disclosure. We are training 4-year-olds to touch themselves because it feels good. But we are telling them not to do it in public. We need these children to be themselves. We need these children to act out whatever they feel they want to act out, because we need to investigate it. How can we investigate if we have programmed all children to behave and act the same way? So that's just the 4-year-olds. When we get to age 9, we start discussing the deed. Why on earth would we tell children what adults do? Children want to do what adults do. Children think they are adults. They're wearing mommy's makeup, mommy's shoes. They're in daddy's toolbox. Children want to be adults. But here we are from age 9 saying, this is something grown-ups do. They don't just say it's something grown-ups do. They actually name the genitals. They name the genitals. They discuss the actions and what results in that action. I got to watch what I'm saying so I can see there's children here, right? So that's age 9. But they need to know about this stuff, don't they? You know, with safeguards. Let's talk about the comp. What's happening in the comp? Prostitution is empowering, right? Apparently. Bondage. Anal. There's stuff in those documents, on those lesson resources, that we had to Google, okay? Absolutely disgusting. The people who know me know I am not a prude. I come from the streets. Nothing is too hot or too heavy for me, all right? If anyone's going to get involved in it, it's probably going to be me. So if I'm standing here telling you this is wrong, you better believe this is wrong. Because like I said, nothing is too hot or heavy for me. I'm always up for a laugh, but I don't find this funny. I find this anything but funny. But it's empowering, isn't it? It's all for children's rights. Let's talk about children's rights. Your children have new rights. Your children's rights are sexual and reproductive rights. These sexual and reproductive rights mean the state can administer medication to your child without consent. What's that got to do with this sex education? Everything. Because since this sex education has rolled out in Scotland, the first 2 years saw an 80% increase in transgender intervention for 4-year-olds. Let's fast forward 4 years. Transgender treatment for children aged 16 and under in Scotland has increased by 1,600%. What's that got to do with the sexual rights? Well, in America, they're removing children from their parents' care, okay? If parents aren't supporting their child changing gender, they are being removed. And then the state is administering medication to that child. 25,000 children registered with irreversible trans regret, double mastectomies, hysterectomies. They are never going to be able to feed their children. They're never going to be able to give birth to a child. But it's okay. These drugs are just temporary. They're only used to chemically castrate paedophiles. It's all right. There is no long-term studies done on this medication. None whatsoever. Lots of risks associated with this kind of behavior. It's become fashionable. It's become fashionable to be transgender. That is serious. We have transgender people with us. We have body dysmorphic children. We understand what's going on. We understand the difference between being body dysmorphic, gender dysmorphic, and being transgenderism. Transgenderism is a fad. It's a fad that is destroying lives. You're confusing children. What are they saying? If you're not playing with dolls as a girl, you're not a girl. You're queered into something else. If you are not a boy playing with cars, you're not a proper boy. You're something else. Grow up. Grow up and leave the kids alone, because nobody was a bigger tomboy than me. I had a skinhead. All right, that was because my hair fell out, right? But I still had a skinhead, okay? Then, on my 18th birthday, I walked into my local pub wearing a dress, okay? Everybody was shocked that I walked in wearing a dress. And you know what? I haven't looked back since. Here I am in my Dr. Martens, usually wellies, die cap or whatever during the day. But you know, in the night, I love a nice designer frock. I love my killer heels. But if this education was about when I was 8, with the mother I have got, you would now be talking to Keith. And that is a fact, right? That is a fact, guys. This, what we're dealing with here, is horrific. I don't even know, this issue is so massive, I don't even know where to begin with it all. But I will tell you one thing, it's built off lies. It's built off the back of lies and child abuse. So what are we doing here? We're exposing the truth and we're protecting our children. We are stark opposite to what they want. So the Talbot Council has been very quiet on this front, but they have had some children removed from schools. They probably won't admit that, but we know what's going on. In actual fact, one parent went into school and the teacher said, "You're the only parent that's come in about this." Well, that's funny, because why did they have 10 of our template letters on their desk? That tells me 10 parents come in before them, okay? So that's what they do. They're trying to make out you are the only parent. You are the problem parent. Well, you're not. You're not. I am the problem parent, okay? I will be the problem parent. You just be responsible parents, okay? We come together, guys. We need to fight this at every single level. They think this is okay. Well, obviously they must think it's okay because I've given them the evidence. So as far as I'm concerned, by them being in there, seeing the evidence, knowing children were abused for this data, that tells me they're a bunch of nonsense. It's as simple as that. Are they paedophiles too? Because I can't see any other way around this. This is where you've got to choose your side. It's as simple as that. This is not a political argument or a debate. Clowns to the left, jokers to the right. Here we are in the middle. This is not a political debate. While we are here arguing or complaining, children are suffering. So when something is debatable, you need to put your foot on the brakes. You work through it all, you come up with a plan. When you're looking at child safeguarding, nothing should be open to interpretation. Absolutely nothing. You've got the zebra crossing, that's safe. But are you going to cross if a car's coming? No, you're not. You're going to wait. But that's what this education is. This education, they're telling us it's a zebra crossing. They're telling us it's safe. But we've got a big massive row of lorries coming towards our kids. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Well, I'm going to be here every single month calling these nonsense. Calling them out. Calling them for who they are, what they are. And I'm also going to be putting complaints to the Ombudsman as well. Because I don't think this is acceptable. Not in any stretch of the imagination. They're in there now in their posh suits, getting their expenses paid. Our money. Our children's money. What's the social services like in this area? Because they are the ones that's going to get involved when we go against the schools. They don't want to be coming to my house. They don't want to be coming to your house neither. Because I'm going to be there. I'm ready for them all. Heads are going to roll, and I don't care which way it goes, guys, right? Like I said, we've been fighting this now for 3 years. We don't fight no more. You don't fight lies. It's exhausting. We expose the truth. We tell everyone what these people are like. We show people the emails they ignored. We record their phone calls. We show everyone what these people are like. We've got another 5 years for elections here. We got Stephen Carl Hunt for that time. Stephen, I'm going to make your life hell. I'm going to make your life absolute hell, starting with your hometown. I'm going to be putting posters up all over your hometown. I'm going to be knocking your neighbours' doors with the evidence, with the files. And you know what? I'm also going to take my qualifications so they know I know what I'm talking about and you are a load of crap. So this is what we got to do, okay? We've got to call these people out. Rome was not built in a day. So if I stood here saying to you, come on, let's go for their seats. We can rinse this council, we can take over. Right? That's a lie. It's going to take a long, long time for anything like that to happen. But Rome was burnt down in a day. And that's what we can do. We can burn these down. Not physically, by the way, okay? Before anyone sends the police. But we can burn this down. We can burn this establishment which is built on lies. And that's how we change the world, guys. We expose the truth, okay? We expose the truth, we concentrate, we focus, and we invest in our children. People will say, oh, but what about the NHS? What about the schools? What about work? What about this, that, and the other? Well, when you invest in children, you don't have damaged adults. So you don't have all these problems, these mental health problems, drug addiction, alcohol addiction, prisons, hospitals. You don't need those kinds of services because you haven't got a nation of damaged adults. The world will change. This is a simple fight. You're either on the side of the paedophiles or you're on the side of the protectors. There's no two ways about this. We're being told this is for inclusivity, LGBT inclusivity. Nobody cares if somebody's gay. Nobody cares, right? If this was about being gay, then why are we talking about sexual acts? I'll tell you why. Because you can't discuss sexuality without discussing sexual acts. Because if you're telling me love is love, what's the difference between two women being together and a man and woman being together then? If love is love. A child is going to want to know. They're going to be asking questions. What's the difference between them and them? There is only one difference. And that's the way you have sex. People say to me, oh, well, will you be okay if the book had a mum and dad? What an absolutely ridiculous question. Don't ask me, will I be okay with a book with a mum and dad? Fetch me the book. And then I'll tell you if I'm okay with that book. It's not as simple as that. Or just two mums, two dads, you know, heterosexual, homosexual. It's complicated. And do you know what it is? It's called a private life. And it should remain private as well. When I was in school, if I said to my teacher, Miss, are you married? Mind your business. That's what they'd say. Now we've got teachers in schools sharing their personal details with our children. Sharing their rows and their relationships with our children. Promoting the gender dysphoria of their family in the classrooms of our children. And they're also telling our children that the doctor guesses your gender at birth. Guys, if your child comes home and says that, we'll start some safeguarding complaints, okay? The doctor does not guess your gender at birth. There is not 70 odd genders or 100 genders or 200 genders. That's them trying to confuse you, okay? Because a damaged, confused child becomes a damaged, confused adult who cannot stand up for themselves. And they do not want people who can stand up for themselves and defend themselves. So we will be here every single month, guys, all right? I want this local authority to lead by example. This local authority should be absolutely bouncing now, okay? Because this is my local authority. But I've been all around the country. But that needs to change. Okay? These people need to answer the questions. They're not answering our emails, so we will be doing complaints to the Ombudsman. We have to do it. Yes, the corrupt system. We don't get anywhere. Yes, we do. We will get somewhere. If you plant 12 seeds, 6 will grow. And that's how we go about it. We are not here to pick the fruit, guys. We are here to plant the trees. So it doesn't matter how much graft we put in. It doesn't matter how many times we have to stand here. It doesn't matter how many emails we descend, because eventually this world will become a better place. If you're here to pick the fruit, you're doing life wrong. We need to plant these trees for our children, because the future is not next week. The future is not next year. The future is the world we leave behind for our children. And the world as it is now, the world that they are leaving and creating for our children, is not a world I want to be a part of. I'm shamed. I'm absolutely sickened and embarrassed to say I share the same air as these people. What's the matter with them? They've had the evidence. And like I said, the only thing we can come up with, they must be on the side of paedophiles. Let's call a spade here, shall we? Let's have a look at the people who's actually promoting this education. Let's look at our number one suspect, shall we? The guy who wanted us to lose our parental opt-out, Peter Tatchell. He thinks having intercourse with 9-year-old boys could possibly be harmless, and maybe we should consider that view. That's the man who campaigned to remove your parental opt-out. That's the man that's leading the LGBT community. That's the man that's speaking up for you. And you call that pride? Where's the pride in that? You've got no pride if you've got no honour. It's as simple as that. There's no pride in any of this. There's no pride in being stood here on a PA system. I should have a good job now. I should be getting on in my life now. Not spending 3 years, 20 hours a day on this campaign because my children are at risk. My children's children. I didn't raise my boys to fight this system. So what's going to happen when they have children? It's going to be too late. Way too late. And that's why we've got to fight this now. We come together and we fight. The only way, say we fight, we don't fight. We are fighting in a sense, but we need to expose the truth, guys. We need to make it our mission to inform somebody every day of what's going on. Whether that's the clothes you're wearing, the posters you're putting up, you're standing in the queue in Tesco's, ask a question. Hey, have you heard about that sex education? Hey, have you heard of that crazy group against the LGBT? Just bring up the conversation. Say what you want about us. Slag us off is fine. Just start those conversations and plant those seeds. It's really important, guys. This was a preventative campaign. Now it's damage limitation. The damage is not ours. The damage is the children's. And it's up to us. We've got to expose this, guys. There's no two ways about it. So, guys, this was our first time in Port Talbot, and it wasn't bad, was it? At least we had more than what we had outside the Senate for the first time. So I'm going to come here now every first Thursday of the month. Obviously, nobody's going to come out to see us, but I do have a good relationship with Scott Jones. So maybe we'll ask Scott to join us next time, because he is the only person who does speak out about this. But Scott's a lovely person. He's a lovely guy. I've known him all my life. But he sometimes needs to be radicalised, you know? He sometimes needs a little shake. He doesn't understand his ginger power. But, yeah, so hopefully we'll get Scott to come out next time. Scott is actually in charge of environmental now. So if you want me to give his details, I might help you. So, yeah, guys, thank you all for coming. Thank you so much. And I think it's been quite a success, isn't it? Start as we mean to go on. We'll come here now the first Thursday of every month. We'll make some noise. Let's grow, guys. I advise you all to do this outside your council offices, okay? Just get out there and do it. I am only stood here now simply because when we first started this fight, I was only ever going to be behind the scenes. I was only ever going to be the driving force. But the people we had speaking were getting things mixed up and saying things that could get us into trouble. So I had no choice. I had no choice but to stand up. And it does get nerve-wracking. This is not what I want to be doing. but it's something I've got used to doing now, and if I can do it, you guys can do it too. You've got to speak for your children. You know, your children can't say what's going on. Your children can't see what's going on. 85% of children in this country believe every word their teacher says. How do I know that? Because the government surveyed them, okay? The government surveyed them July 2021, and that's the results of their report. The report also states as well that 75% of primary age children are comfortable in their own skin. So when you look at the percentages in the population in general, 1 in 5 children got additional needs, so that covers 20% of the school population. They naturally don't feel comfortable in their own skin. And then you've got the 3 to 4% that's LGBT anyway. So those figures actually do add up, okay? But they want to distort them. They want to get in and they want to manipulate our children's minds. We're told time and time again this education's for safeguarding, STIs, teenage pregnancies, but the teenagers are not getting this education until 2025. Why? Because we know this is an agenda, and their studies have shown them that this agenda does not impact council estate children. Teenage age council estate children are the ones that's pushing back on this. They are the ones taking the mick. They are the ones that know it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? So those are the children that is the greatest opposition to this. Hence why they've decided to target the 3-year-olds. Because by the time the council estate 3-year-olds become 13-year-olds, they will already be, they will adjust to this agenda. But we are here to stop it. It's as simple as that. If children want to transition as an adult, they've been through processes where they've had therapies and this is really something they want, I will be supporting that adult in their journey. I will support any adult for any decision they make that does not impact a child. So for anyone out there who is not looking at this, who has got a gay or lesbian niece or nephew, who believes going against this education is going against them, you've been lied to. Your niece or nephew is being exploited. Last month was LGBT History Month, but they don't teach the facts. If they did teach facts, we wouldn't be campaigning against this education. If they taught facts, the LGBT community would know they were exploited from day one by the likes of Harry Hay. Harry Hay started the LGBT movement, but he wanted to join it with NAMBLA, North American Man-Boy Love Association. Let's look at the gender ideology. Where did that come from? John Money. What did he do? Mutilated, well, he didn't mutilate the children, sorry, but he forced children to grow up in the different gender, the opposite gender. He forced children to perform sexual acts on each other. Then he published the paper, this was a success. So if they were going to teach all the facts and tell everyone the truth, we would support that. But they are not telling you the truth. If they were telling you the truth, they would have used last month as an opportunity to tell you where this all comes from. And until they start telling the truth, we will be here month after month after month. Just like we did in Cardiff, month after month after month. We'll be outside your office, Jeremy Miles. We'll be outside your office, Hugh Aranka Davis. Stephen Carl Hunt, we are coming to your town. Your neighbours are going to know who you are. You cannot fool us all of the time, and you certainly can never, ever fool a kid off the streets. I am that kid off the streets. I am that council estate kid. I am the opposition to your agenda, and I cannot be bought, I cannot be manipulated, and I am in this for the long haul. So come on guys, let's absolutely annihilate this agenda. I'm going to wrap it up now guys. Thank you all for coming. First Thursday of every month we will be here. An absolute pleasure. Thank you all so much. Let's make this massive.